Okay, first, thank you very much for inviting me to this seminar. I'm very happy to be here and celebrate the centenary with all of you. The aim of this contribution is to provide an overview of the current state of library information science studies in Spanish universities. But I want to go a little bit further by reconciling why LIS in Spain is crossing the boundaries. Here we have the daily menu. I'd like to tell you about LIS education and research in Spain, in university libraries, in university context. Just to talk about how interdisciplinarity is perceived in Spain, just in research and in education. Present data about job market and obvious employment sector and profiles. Communicate to you that new laws are promising more changes. And finally, a conclusion and debate. The studies, research, and the very profession of library information science have been in constant evolution. The present time is no exception. The world change is part of us. The main reason for this, can be found in its close ties to technology. And in fact, just as Govinda said, current information science crossroads of information, technology, and people. I think it could be useful first to look at the origin of library information science studies in Spain. And I have just here they different with Ernest. Probably Ernest is right and I'm wrong. Yeah? The Barcelona school was founded in 1915, probably 1914, doesn't matter. But it's the first or the second in Europe. But it wasn't linked to the university. It was basically a professional activity. And we had the School of Technical Training for Archivists, Librarians, and Archaeologists, which was founded by the Spanish National Library in 1953. These studies were basically directed at women and university undergraduates of humanity studies. In Spain today, the situation is different. The university studies started in 1982, and now we have undergraduate programs before and after Bologna, and Bologna undergraduate in our days, master's degrees and PhD programs. And they are offered by 15 centers. In the beginning, LIS was associated only with humanistic faculties, but now it's increasingly frequently to find it affiliated with social sciences, especially with communication studies, as we can see on the screen. However, at the department level, the situation is different because nearly 50% do not share it with other areas, as we can see in the figure. Okay. In certain cases, the affiliation has more to do with the structure of the politics of the university themselves than with the discipline in question. Yeah? You can see on the screen the evolution of university studies from 1982 to 2000. There is a mistake here. It's 2015. The best point for us for Spanish studies was the undergraduate called Diplomatura. And in 1999 and 2000, we raised about 5,000 students, new students. And now, with the undergraduate Bologna program, we are in this small hill. Bologna undergraduate students students. They are the same name in all the universities, called Grado en Información y Documentación. That are taught in 12th century respond both to the decrease in student demand, we can see the line here, and the new job condition markets and new jobs. A drop in the number of public offers and a corresponding rise in the private sector. The new studies plans aimed at creating an education which would allow a wider professional spread, as well as specialization more in the line with reality. We could see here that 2011 and 2015, we have a drop of nearly 25% decrease. So that is worried. The cost of enrollment in Bologna undergraduate in state universities, according to the prices from 2014 and 2015, oscillate between 2,300 and 6,000 euros. Yeah? The prices rise about, especially in Madrid, Barcelona, and Valencia, between 33% and 67% in 1 year. It will be easy and tempting, also not very serious, to establish a cost-effect relationship, prices, enrollments. A much more inclusive analysis is needed. There is, however, no doubt that the higher prices, the economical situation in Spain, and our weak positioning have a negative effect on the choice of studies. Regarding the offer for master in LIS areas is very wide expanding. There are more or less 50% of them are in private universities and 50% are in public universities. Well, sorry, I have to correct myself. 50% are in public universities, but there are private titles, and 50% are approved by the government. Well, all of them are in the area of LIS in the widest possible sense. As far as topics of studies is concerned, the generalist programs are the most common: information science and archivism, followed by management titles, information management, content management, knowledge management, social media, and so on. And then museology. Those which are related with school libraries, medical documentation, or musical documentation represent the lowest percentage. But not all of them depend on library information science department or faculties. They are coming from other areas, as you can see on the screen. Now let's have a look at PhD dissertation and research. The PhD programs are the main academic justification. In the United States, this became common after the Second World War, but in Spain it did not happen until the 90s. This was when the research in the field really took off. The PhD program started in 1991. The first PhD dissertation was defended in 1995. This evolution has caused the emergence of a new breed of teachers and researchers with a different approach and different work methods compared to the traditional practitioners. In fact, as I already mentioned, in 1995 the first PhD dissertation was defended, and only in year 2000 did the first person to have done the entire LIS cycle receive his first PhD. Before that, a PhD in library information science were done in other departments and in other areas. Now, I like to turn to Spanish works at international level. From the period from 1967 to 2014. LIS changed in Spain for a professional field, and I think in all Europe and States, focused on librarianship to an academic field focused on information and news. And in 1992, LIS began receiving a growing number of citations from outside the field, notably from computer science and management. There is a natural relationship between research and science. The more research, the more articles. The more articles published in international journals, the better foundation of the field. And finally, a more solidly founded field generates even more articles. We can see on the screen the evolution of that publication, and we have two lines. The red line, data is from the Web of Science. The red line is all journals, all international journals, and the red one is Spanish journals. Yeah. So this is all the journals, and the tendency, if we take off the Spanish journals, is more or less the same. The research trends have changed too. While the topics used to be linked either with practical matters concerning library operation or be purely theoretical, today bibliometrics and sensometrics and altmetrics are clearly positioned. And so are the topics related to information architecture, semantic web, linked data, open research, digital environments, and the network and the work teams are increasing interdisciplinarity. The technical publication has also changed. If papers were previously published mainly in Spain and in Spanish journals, now they are more often published in international journals and in English. According to the number of articles collected, oh my God, thank you. According to the number of articles collected in the Web of Science, Spain is in a good position both internationally and on a European scale. It ranks third internationally and second in Europe in the number of articles in Web of Science. Well, onto the job market. It's not surprising that the number of unemployment in our sector has increased from 2009, taking in account the economical crisis in Spain, and the sector, who has been the hardest is age group between 25 and 35. The present jobless rate in our country is 26%. Yeah? Yes, I'm going to. This is according to the Observatory of Occupation of Public States Employment Service. They were in 2014 2,704 unemployed people in the area, and 3,000, nearly 4,000 employment. And we have to say that unemployment only related to the profession is 63%, and the rest is employment like to be vendor, waiters, administrative staff, and so on. Different perspectives and different works analyzing the state of the art, and most have reached similar results. Yeah, this is the evolution of the job offers, taking like a source the IWTL, and just I'm going to just a brief lines. Profiles, types, and centers. Employment is primarily found with the traditional sector, but a new sector within the digital file is also rapidly emerging. Portals, digital libraries, management, and the decline of government job offers can be seen in all the studies. So the professional profile which is demanded is undergoing a change. It's because that reason there are training courses offered by associations, universities, and training centers about this matter: mobile devices, social networks, content curator, search engine, and so on. But there is still hope. According to the European Community, it is expected that by 2017 there will be 700,000 digital profile vacancies in Europe. Many of the technical or business-related profiles within the digital content industry are transversal and may be a great opportunity for the LIS specialists. So it's necessary to build or adapt existing training programs just to put face to that offer. Well, there's going to be a new law for Bologna undergraduates in Spain. And just a few conclusions. In Spain, not everything is wine and roses. It seems that we are again on a downhill slide in the number of university students, like the one we experienced before the economic crisis. In LIS, the number of students is decreasing more than in other areas. The main reasons for this are to be found in the current economic crisis, government policies, and an endemic lack of social recognition of our profession. Excellent results in international publication are achieved, and yet the number of students decreases. Employment is unstable and precarious. It seems that there is a contradiction. We have formed good researchers and professionals, but we do not succeed in increasing the visibility of what we do. The cost of studies at the state universities varies from region to region, with some very significant differences. Spanish citizens have to pay different rates simply because of the geography. One of the main objectives of the implementation of undergraduate studies was to adapt to the labor market and to a new reality for our profession. From the data analyzed, we may conclude that this objective has not been fully achieved. Although a certain increase was on this way, now new enrollment is generally speaking on a downward path, and the ratio of students who leave the studies before they graduate is higher than we would like. The low social visibility of the studies and the profession, which now has become endemic, is one of the most important weaknesses. It's somewhat paradoxical that our studies are not more in demand in a society dominated by information and new job profiles. The current situation should worry and occupy not only the academic environment, but the profession as a whole. It's obvious that without graduates, there will be no professionals. This means that the post, even more often than is the case today, in the future, will be occupied by people with inadequate profiles. Thank you very much.